When I look back, so much of my success comes down to my circle. I mean, the real deep connections with people who've shown up for me, who I've been able to show up for, and ultimately have opened up doors for me that I didn't even know existed. If you're new here, well, chances are you are, because I am. This is my first official YouTube video. All things about life and business and creating the life I've always dreamt of, the life of freedom, financial freedom, abundance, but also, let's get real, no fluff. It hasn't been easy. It's not easy. And my goal is to just connect and share things I've learned and what I've kind of been through and ways to ideally help you get to the level that you want to get to as well. So I'm Cristina, a multi-passionate, multi-six-figure business owner. And my journey feels like it's just getting started some days, and then other days it also feels like it's been going on forever, right? And over time, you're going to hear me talk about everything from business to personal life, business opportunities that crushed it, those that cost me a lot of money, things that I thought were going to be great and maybe turned out really bad, or vice versa. Someone who's a DV survivor who is breaking generational cycles of poverty and ultimately getting to create the life I wanted, I choose, and that I love. I stepped away from my 9-to-5 back in 2019, and then obviously pandemic. And I think I was really fortunate that it actually really propelled me versus hindered me. And so, this will be that channel to kind of just share all those things with you guys and just trying to keep it together. And let's not forget that late in life ADHD diagnosis, sort of making things make sense, sort of making things more difficult. But today I really wanted to jump off with talking about the power of building really authentic, genuine relationships. And I say that because I feel as an entrepreneur, it can feel like a very lonely space, right? If you're doing your thing, it can feel like no one understands you. You're not really sure who you should connect with. In spaces I've been in, especially I started in real estate, still do it, but I've had transitioned through that a bit of just so much competition and jealousy and just like weird vibes, right? And what it comes down to for myself and so much of my success and so many of people around me, their success is genuine relationships and the power of those that maybe we didn't expect. So if you're thinking, oh great, like I don't have a ton of people I can rely on. Or maybe you're thinking, I don't have anyone in my circle who's doing what I'm doing. I get it. I was there. I was the first one I knew to take a step away from a 9-to-5 traditional work setting. I didn't have a business owner, entrepreneur, mentor, model, what have you in my life at all. And I remember starting out feeling like, holy crap, this is going to be like really tough, really lonely. But the truth is so much of that came from building like people I could trust and go to, and then they would introduce me to someone and so on and so on. And now I get to do that. And it starts to just build this amazing network and circle of people that you just didn't even realize you were going to get the opportunity to have. And I say all that because you will quickly realize that you need to kind of be leaning towards and looking for those who might be a step ahead of you, right? Maybe you're sitting with folks that are doing really freaking great and making six figures, multiple six figures, but you're like, I want to be a multimillionaire. Then you're going to have to find that table, put yourself out there, be vulnerable, have that courage, and start learning from those, right? Start mirroring that, start asking questions, asking for support, paying for support. It's the reality of investing in yourself and investing in your business, right? Mentor, coaching, all of that good stuff. And I'm not saying you need to drop all your friends, your besties since second grade who, still has a corporate 9-to-5 job. Hell no, of course not. I have many of those people in my life and I love them dearly. But it's also so great to have people who get it, who fully understand, who can keep you accountable, who can humble you, who can champion you. Sometimes it can feel a little daunting to go to certain, people in our life and say, hey, I just closed this deal and it was $20,000. Or I'm really struggling and I'm so sick of this, because it could go either way, right? They could be like, oh my God, you're like making more money than I see and blah, blah, blah. Or it could be like, why the hell are you doing this? Then go get a job. You got to have your people in your corner. One of my mentors once told me when I was first getting into real estate that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, that you have to find somebody who's already done it and you can learn from them and then innovate and reach higher if that's what you're trying to do, right? And that is priceless. You don't have to know everything. And it's a great way to find people to kind of guide you around those misfortunes, those difficult situations that maybe you wouldn't have seen coming, but others have been like, oh, I've been there. Don't sign a 3-year contract with a software company that you haven't really vetted because you're going to be stuck. And have you really seen, do people want this product? All those things come from those who've probably done it and learned the lesson before you. And it can just provide that real life feedback for you, right? And keep you humble, but also keep you championed. And you're going to find that you need all of that. You need a balance of people who are like, yes, you can do it. And people are like, you need to pay attention to this. Do you know your numbers? What the heck is going on in your business? So my biggest thing has always been networking, talking to people genuinely, and being vulnerable in those situations. Don't get me wrong. I still pretty much hate every networking event I go to, okay? They can be super freaking awkward. It's like dating blind dates all the time, right? Gross. But if you go into it being who you are, being super genuine, having open conversation with top of mind that, I wonder if there's like a way that we could support each other. Is there a way that we could collaborate? Do you have similar clients? Are you a success ally, as I like to refer to it? All those things without sounding pushy, salesy, and weird, right? And from there, you'd be so surprised how many genuine connections you can make. I randomly jumped into a book club a couple years ago, and now like the core 7 of us, are a great group of women who are pushing their boundaries, pushing the limits on their business, holding each other accountable, giving tough love, but also just screaming from the rooftops when something amazing happens in our business. And we've seen great growth because we trust each other and everybody's doing something different, okay? That's what I mean about building those genuine, connections and relationships. And then I have the other side where I pay for coaching, or I have a different type of group who's maybe really like above where I'm at, but I'm really trying to get to multi-millions. So I'm like, how do I show up with them? How do I ask for support? People who've done this love to give it back. Well, most of us, right? Because we know where everyone's been. We were just there. We're kind of still there. I feel like no matter where you're at and you've made it, like there's still always going to be obstacles. It's a business. It's going to happen. So ask for the support, right? Because I bet you they want to give it and spread the knowledge as well. So you'll be so surprised, like when you come across those genuine, authentic conversations, what it can do for you. My first listing in real estate, the buyer's agent was amazing. We communicated the same. We hustled the same. I'm like, this person's great. I want to be her friend. And with that came, hey, we should, grab drinks after this deal, what have you. She owned a real estate brokerage. I owned a real estate brokerage. But there was never this jealousy or this weird competition. It was just general support, collaboration. Hey, what do you got going on? What do you have listed? Let me see if I have a buyer. Let me see if I've heard anything. Hey, do you have a good HVAC person? That's how people make it in the world. I didn't come from like a Rolodex. I just dated the shit out of myself, but I never used one, okay? It was at least electronic by then. But I never came from this like affluent list of people that I could just call. I had to build all of that. And so that's what I'm kind of saying is like, regardless where you're at and what stage, like you can build that. And now she and I are great friends and we've done other business stuff together, and she's great to call and ask for support or vent or grab some tequila with. And all that came from realizing that the person on the other side of a deal was a really great human and I wanted to be connected to them. So as you think about where you're going in 2025, kind of maybe where you got stuck in 2024, if you're just starting out or you're established, take a look at who's in your life. And I'm not saying get rid of people, but I am saying if there's some shitty people in your life, some toxic stuff, I am saying get rid of them. But I'm also just saying, like, how can you elevate those around you? And how can you go into a room and feel elevated by others as well? So that is my like first big piece of advice, because I kept being told that it was just as important to have authentic relationships as it was anything else in my business. And I've opened multiple other businesses, and I continue to see that need in every single thing I do. It wasn't just real estate. It's been my flower studio. It's been drop shipping. It's been coaching. It's been everything. And it's just proof that you need that tool, a part of your foundation as you get started trying to scale, whatever it is. And if you're feeling like alone and like this is the hardest thing ever and no one understands you, that's when you have to start reaching out, being yourself, showing up for others in your life, and then asking for the same and seeing who's, who you can meet that's doing some really awesome things, and vice versa. That's what I have for you guys today. I invite you to drop a comment if there's like a group or something, or a way you found a really great, genuine way to make relationships and build that connection in your business. Or if you're like, I'm an introvert and I don't know what the heck to do, because we can talk about that too. There's space for everybody, I promise you. And there's a seat at the table for everybody. And stay tuned. So make sure you like this video and then subscribe, because I'll be dropping some more. And I'm so excited to really just jump in and share my journey with you guys.